Hello, future Grandmasters. We're going to continue sort of a React segment by looking at the podcast between three of the greatest chess players in the world, Levy Rozman, Alexander Botez, and Andrei Botez. We're going to start with a section where they spoke about me. Is there really, we're going to address whether there's real beef between me and Gotham and we're also going to look at a section with regards to the future of chess.
I'm trying to pass these days, and I want some friendly, amicable comments.
Well, yes, maybe Andrea did apologize to me. So maybe we're gonna let me know in the comments if you think I should start collaborating with the Botezes.
Yeah. Same, I think. Yeah, how does that go for you? You've been tweeting it a lot.
Yeah, I'm just straight name dropping. It's
Yeah, so we'll address these two tweets. So I mean this with sincerity. I love the chance to deliver a training session for free. He's a good negotiator. Price went from 200 grand to zero. So that's just sort of an example of my kindness. More so, I think that a lot of Olivia's path to Grandmaster content, I think that if he really actually tried and really put his mind to it, it would be sort of more interesting to people to watch. Because, for me to say he's not actually trying, could be interpreted as just condescending because he's not doing well. But I mean, really commit to it, really sort of travel to a lot of tournaments, because one tournament every 3 months, and it feels like it's just for content. So I feel like if he really immersed himself, his audience could tell, and that commitment could be inspiring. And then this tweet, sort of hard to read. This could have been me if I never became a Grandmaster. It's time for Levy, and people took this the wrong way. This was a joke. It wasn't meant in a negative way. Just thought that Levy should try to become a Grandmaster because I think it'd be super fulfilling.
I'm still in the due diligence phase of figuring out if Hans Niemann is a little nuts or if the whole thing is a very well-curated WWE villain-style character. Because we had a very cordial interaction 30 seconds before we sat down for the interview in Paris. We shook hands. And then I just watched the light switch flick and his eyes light up. And all of a sudden I was just on the receiving end of the Hans Niemann show. But I was sitting there, I felt like time stopped. I couldn't believe what was going on. It was like I was watching.
Yeah, well, listen, I understand how from his position he felt like he was being attacked, but I'm sure that if you went back to 19-year-old Levy Rozman and the entire world accused him of something that he didn't do without any evidence and has continued to sort of push and meddle these defamatory accusations for years, and then your entire chess career was sort of hanging in the balance, in your livelihood and something you've worked for since you're 8 years old. I understand how in his position it's hard to empathize. But listen, the amount of videos that Levy made about anal beads was, also in our interview, Levy said that he never really accused me, but if you look at some of his statements in the Lex Friedman podcast, looking back on those now is quite questionable. But again, I remain sort of attempting to be amicable with everyone, but all I sort of want is sort of an admission of my innocence and an apology for everything that was done to me.
Show that I was watching myself be a character in the show. And then we were very cordial and I was offering to be a coach. It's interesting because the coaching offer was
I was offering to be his coach because I think it's for the storyline, right? I think I'm the only person that can make him a Grandmaster.
So I'm really appreciative.
Every time it's coaching out there, he's like, it's going to be very, very expensive. And you're the only one who got it for free, I don't know.
I didn't do anything to deserve it, but he also wrote something recently that really looked at XC.
I saw that inspiring and back into it. Hey, those are so friendly and for sure.
Yeah, and he's got a wild card. I know this episode will drop. He got a wild card today. Well, it's not thing, so I don't know.
Well, I won the Grenke Open before, and the Grenke invitation wasn't happening more. And considering I haven't gotten really any invitations for 3 years, an invitation to the Freestyle Paris was sort of not expected, but not surprising to say the least.
Sometimes I feel like a passenger or spectator in the chess world because there's so many personalities, and then lots of stuff. Very strange and captivating personalities.
Do you think chess personalities just treat you very differently in one big sport chess? Or do you think there's still nuances to it?
Oh, you're saying, yeah, I definitely felt a bit scorned. Is that the right word? Or is it kind of down on? But I think I always said, no, I'm not going to.
Yeah, in this regard, I would say that a lot of maybe not the top Grandmasters, but a lot of the maybe 25 to 2650, the ones who are sort of struggling to make ends meet, they definitely look down on content creators. They're like, how are the people making all this money? That's certainly prevailing sentiment, but I wouldn't fully agree with it. I would say that as long as they're respectful to top players and their dedication to the craft for their livelihood, like that's important. But I think that chess players are just sort of sensitive and more egotistical than others.
I think there's a lot of top players who have no respect for influencers, and it comes out in different ways. So some of them are sarcastic, like social media footage. But then he does the logic thing because this is true, which is, like deep down he doesn't think these are maybe the star level whatever it is. For the record, I've said the same thing. I've said it's kind of ridiculous that chess content creators are more popular than chess players, so sacrifice their whole life to the game. They break out games or make tutorials about chess games and whatever. But it's not really our fault. Like chess is.
Yeah, I agree. It's not their fault. Chess, the world is a play to, it's the Hunger Games, right? Everyone wants to win, everyone wants to be successful, and it's more so that chess players aren't as multifaceted as people who aren't as good at chess. People who aren't as purely competitive are likely sort of able to sort of branch out into other things like content creation. So, Levy, Alexander, and Andre were never really competitive, like, let's say, not top competitive players, so they probably had other hobbies and other interests which allowed them to pursue content, right? But purely competitive players, they've sort of been all in since their childhood, right? So it's harder for them to break out into content. And as you can see, sort of my YouTube channel is still a struggle, but I'm learning and improving.
Typically, the people who resonate closely with our content, rather than watching top players. So we all have to be together. We also have to be part of the game, and then making it more accessible, making itself more accessible to people who watch. And then that's like the incumbent chess top players who are in their 30s and so on. Then there's the young generation of players like chess world champ. Some of the Indians are 20, 21, 2 times 20, 25 scores. I don't know, 20, 21, 22. Some guys are 19, etc. It's kind of hard to get some of these guys to build up any social presence. And it's very different. Indians are well taken care of. They get good sponsorship, they get access to their players, so they don't have to do the whole social media service. Whereas like Timer,
It's good that he calls it a circus. I agree. Yeah, no, all the top young players like the Vincent Keimers has been sponsored by Grenke, which is a German bank. All the Indian players like Westbridge or just billionaires or government or so. If you asked me honestly, like let's say, I could just disappear and just focus on chess and not post on social media. Maybe in the like sort of idealistic sense, that would be my choice. But obviously, I don't really have. If I had a full tournament schedule, it would obviously be very different. Okay, let's go to the future of chess.
Hopefully, chess doesn't stop growing. It's good that we have the Netflix coming out. There's other series being built. There's the Emerald that is great. Yeah, that's basically the point where I didn't know how big it was until we opened Max on RTE, HBO, Max, whatever.
The Netflix documentary is going to be very illuminating.
I'm going to be there welcoming the news with webinars, whether through meetings, short form content, long form content, chess league, like that type of stuff, and making chess a little bit less serious for people. So that's always been my objective. And I don't know how much longer about this, like probably a lot. I mean, what the hell else are we going to do if not content? But yeah,
Become a grandmaster.
The only big scary thing about chess world is to Max or retire. Yeah, but you can't do something one, right? Like you need one. Also, Austin needs to become like champion the next, right? That would be like when Wolverine takes a while to go.
Why am I the villain here? Like, guys, let's look at this objectively, okay? I won a chess game. Chess.com, this massive chess conglomerate, and all their content creators, including the people in this video, defamed me. And I defended myself passionately and at times aggressively when needed. I'm not the villain here, guys. I'm not like Voldemort. I don't really like this sort of characterization. Oh, my victory speeches are not going to be gracious. Okay, yeah, I think this is the main thing. Well, no, listen, I'll be gracious, but am I going to be, slam dunk, sort of celebrating? Absolutely. Am I going to be gracious and grateful for all the people who supported me? Absolutely. So anyways, the conclusion is that obviously chess is like moving in a different direction. Magnus-Carlsen not getting younger. And there's this new crop of young players, including myself. Obviously, I won't really be able to break through into the top 10 until later this year in the Grand Swiss and the World Cup. So I'm quite confident that I will be sort of top 10, hopefully even top 5 player by the end of this year with the limited classical tournaments I'm going to play. And then hopefully 2026 will be like the year where I get all the invitations, I'm playing the Grand Chess Tour, and everything's normal again. But I guess only time will tell. I'm really looking forward to the freestyle Fisher random events. That's going to be huge. But again, I really, I'm not against collaborating with these people. I just think that their attitude towards me should be respectful and at least apologetic for what's happened in the past. And I have no issue with being amicable and friendly with all the chess content creators. So let me know in the comments who you think I should collaborate with. Let me know if I should push harder on teaching Levy and future grandmasters. I'll see you in the next video.